Alright, we want to work on Google Earth today and how we're going to do that. Alright, we want to create a project on there and we need to understand the interface a little bit. Now on the sidebar just here, and if you don't have the sidebar, here's the little icon up the top there. Can you see that one just there? Well, that initiates a sidebar and closes it. What you should see is there's a search box, a places box and a layers box. I'll just move this out of the way. And a layers box. Now this layers box shows all the different information, I can scroll it up here, that Google Earth provide you. And if you click all that, it'll show you place names and and everything. But what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that that's unchecked, so it saves confusing us. Now obviously the search box up the top here, if I scroll down, if I divide it by the bars there, if I go in the search box, I can search for things, and as you can see, I've looked for San Clemente Mayfield up there. And that's what you can click. And you can unclick or check, so as you can see when I check that box, the little place mark came up, but I'll uncheck that so I don't get too confused and cluttered. The places is where we do all our work. That's where it's all at. So what we're going to do, we're going to minimize the search, and we're going to minimize the layers button, and that way we can only have this places sidebar. Now I'm going to start a new project, so what I've got to do is go to MyPlaces, make sure it's highlighted and clicked. I'll right mouse click on it, I'll go to add, and I'll go to folder, and I'll call this my project. Now you can name it whatever your assignment or whatever activity you're doing, but that's the main project file, and we're going to make sure everything is inside that. If you have a look at my wrap things here, have a look at how I've got all these different folders, subfolders to that wrap folder there. All right? And the good thing about that is I can, by organizing it that way, I can make it act like a bit of a GIS system. Okay? I can run some queries with the layers. All right. So what we need to do is create folders within folders. All right? So what I do is I make sure that my project is selected. I right mouse click, I add, and I go folder, and I'll call it subfolder 1. In this case you might want to call it garbage bins, recycle bins, or whatever it is, just whatever your category is. So I'll call it subfolder 1, and as you can see there, and I'll put a second subfolder in. So once again, make sure my project, come here, make sure my project is selected. I'll right mouse click and I'll go add folder. Once the computer gets going, add folder, and I'll call it subfolder 2, but you name it however you want to categorize it. Now this is really important. Alright, now I want to add a bit of an outline to this thing, so make a bit of a plan. So I'll make sure that my project is selected, and I come up here and there is add a path. So I'll click on add a path, and notice how I've got crosshairs. I can edit this as long as this dialog box is up. So I'm going to call this school outline, but I'm not going to click OK yet. Then I'll click style, and as you can see I can choose my different colors, and I've got my width. Okay, but don't click OK because this dialog box needs to be up to do any editing. Now if you notice, I go on the school, I've got some crosshairs on there. So all I got to do now is click, and I don't have to hold anything. Click, 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 and I do that all the way around. Okay. Now just say I made a mistake like that. All I've got to do is press backspace. Then I come up here and go all the way around that way. Okay, so now I actually have a school outline. Now I can press OK. What if I want to edit that school outline? I could see a bit of a gap up here, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Oops. And come up over here, and you can see that my line, I want to move it closer. How do I... Look at that. I'll come back on the side here, and I make sure at school outline selected. I right mouse click and I come down and I choose properties. Now you'll see I've got a little, I can use my fingers there and I've joined them up, and there you go. Then I can click OK. Alright, that's the first thing. Let's go back a bit. Alright, now I want to start putting place marks in, and I want to put them in my subfolders. Alright, what do? So under subfolder 1, this place mark might be all the garbage bins. So I'll make sure that my subfolder 1, or whatever your title is, selected. Then I'll come up the top here and I can add a place mark, or I can right mouse click, add place mark. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll go that way, add place mark, and as long as this dialog box is selected, that's good. Now here's a little trick I would like to do. I like to just leave the name blank, right? Because, you know, unless you really need it. And as long as that dialog box is selected, we can move this place mark wherever. So I know there's a garbage bin right there. I can click on the icon just there, so I'll go back to that. Just up here, I can click on that and I can change the icon. And I might make, I'll use the letter B. I can change the color of that if I want. I might make it a yellow so it stands out. Okay. Alright, and I'll click OK, and there's my icon, and I can move it around. Now, while that's there, if I zoom in, that's how it will be remembered. If I click on that, it will zoom into that level. So there's that bin. I click OK, and there it is. Now I'll zoom back, and there's that one. Now I'll make sure my subfolder 1, I'll add another. So right mouse click, add place mark, and I'll zoom in again. And I know there's a bin right here. Okay, and I'll remove the title and I'll click OK. Now I'll zoom back, as you can see, and there it is. Now watch, by organising its subfolders, if I click the little triangle next to it, if I just click on the subfolder one, checkbox, you can see that it hides it all. And it hides it all. Okay? So that's why we're doing that. Then you can do, let's say, recycle bins on the next one and hotspots. And if you want to edit any of these things, all you need to do, once again, you can come on here, you can right mouse click and choose properties, and you get a dialog box, and you can then move it. And you know, I'll zoom in at that level. So whatever level you're at, and that's okay. So move it, and you can change whatever you want there. Okay, and I click OK.